Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another amazing episode on the Unleashing Potentials podcast. I'm your host, Bernadette, and joining me today is fellow Canadian Jesse Holmes is in the house. How are you?
Good, Bernadette. How are you today?
Oh, I'm great. I'm great. Yeah, we're talking about, how when kids go back to school, how everybody gets sick.
Yep.
Yeah. So where about are you in Canada, if you don't mind sharing?
So I'm from just outside of Windsor, Ontario. So the southernmost point of Canada.
Oh, nice, nice. And you've always lived there?
Yeah, I was born near Toronto, but I grew up around here.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. So, Jesse, what is your story? What is it that you're doing? Are you staying out of trouble? And how are you changing the world in your community in Canada?
Yeah, so I've been an entrepreneur since I was 16 years old. And so for the last 19 years, I've started and ran a number of businesses. My last business, I grew to eight figures. And so I'm taking all of my expertise of the last 19 years of entrepreneurship, and now I'm helping other entrepreneurs turn procrastination into profit in 10 minutes a day. So I help them get stuff done, overcome everything in their brains that's holding them back from, getting the thing done. And that's where I am at today.
That's awesome. So, tell me more of your story. What was your childhood like? Did you always want to do what you're doing today, and why? That's a lot of,
Uh,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
no, that's fine. I like it. Uh, I was raised, my dad really instilled the importance of entrepreneurship at a young age. He was an entrepreneur himself, but he definitely tried to get me and my brother to, to break out of the 9 to 5 and try to set up our own life and success for ourselves. So he really heavily encouraged being an entrepreneur our entire lives. I went to university for 1 year for business school. I was going into business school when my brother was graduating. And so I saw what he graduated with, and I said, I don't need that. And so I dropped out of school and we started a business. Our first business was selling on eBay. And then since then, I've done a number of different businesses, either both online and offline.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
And then that's kind of where it led me to today. It's just taking all of my, experiences, my ups and downs, my what I've learned in the last 19 years of entrepreneurship. My first 10 years of entrepreneurship were a lot different than my last nine. The first 10 years were filled with a lot of procrastination and perfectionism and thinking that we needed, more training, more tools, more all these other things to be successful. Until I came across a mentor that kind of programmed that out of me and really taught me the importance of taking action and the important things to focus on when taking action, and that allowed me to, scale a business far beyond my wildest dreams in a lot shorter time than I thought was even possible, simply because of the ability to learn how to, turn that procrastination into taking action.
Mm, I love that. Yeah. Do you still work with the person who helped you?
I listened to so I was working with him for a number of years, and he sent me we do calls every week, and I have call recordings, but I listen to 10 minutes of a call recording every single day just to keep me on track and my mindset going.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let's touch a bit on procrastination. I think all of us know what it is, but it
Mhm.
somehow means something different to everybody. And I think
Yeah,
we all do it differently too.
that's
So,
so true.
yeah, walk me through some examples of how you did it and how you stopped and have you jumped in and out of there sometimes?
Absolutely. So, as humans, we all procrastinate. I procrastinate. There's tons of things in my life that I put off, and some things are good to procrastinate on because maybe we weren't supposed to do them, or we're supposed to automate or delegate them to somebody else. Especially as entrepreneurs, it's just a big issue because we have so many opportunities, so many things on our plate, so many different decisions to make every single day. It's hard to know which decision's the right one to make. There's a lot of overwhelm. A lot of entrepreneurs are you have a high standard. They're like perfectionists, so they want to have a really good quality product before launching. A lot of them, are scared of maybe how their friends and family might think of them. A lot of them, myself included, struggle with, self-doubt, lack of confidence, lack of clarity, not knowing where to start. So all of these things are kind of all manifestations of procrastination. But what I really learned was it had nothing really to do with like laziness or poor time management. It was it was really to more of these internal emotional things. And by learning how to make the task that I'm procrastinating on super easy and enjoyable to get started on, I was able to be more consistent, get more things done, and be more productive.
Mm. You said something important, enjoyable. I love that word because so many of us do the 9 to 5 or the all the night owls. We all have different
Hmm.
shifts. I used to do graveyards, all right?
Hmm.
12-hour
Hmm.
shifts and they did rotate. Sometimes I didn't even know what planet I was on because I was
Oh,
sleeping
really?
during the day. It
Mm.
it's brutal and not all of us enjoy it. I am a solopreneur.
Hmm.
I was arguing with my daughter that that's an actual word. She's like, "What?" I said, "Yes, it is. Go ask Google. Google will tell you it is." Yeah, yeah. So let's say people like me, podcasting and I literally had to drop fear, doubt, self-sabotage, all of
Mm.
it. What advice would you have for me or for other people in my shoes and also in your shoes as well?
My biggest piece of advice, and I have this in a free guide called the Procrastination to Profit Planner. It's a simple fill in the blank system. I pretty much what I do is I help you identify, okay, what's the one thing that you might be procrastinating on? And then I walk you through this simple exercise to make it very, very easy, like as easy as possible, as enjoyable as possible, and something that you can stick to every single day. Because every successful entrepreneur knows it's not about doing it once, it's about doing it consistently. And small steps consistently have so much more results than just trying to be super intense for a short amount of time and then pulling away.
Yeah. Yeah, 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 definitely. How did the pandemic impacted your business? Because the whole world went to shit. So, yeah,
This procrastination coaching business, I started this after the pandemic, so it was something different. But my last business, I was selling health supplements, and so actually it did fairly well during the pandemic,
yeah,
actually.
yeah, that's actually an excellent time to start it because
Hmm.
everyone was at home.
Hmm.
I was lazy, all right? I was forced to be lazy, not get stuff done. So I love that you started it around that time. Talk to us about judgment. You touched a little bit on it earlier, people
Hmm.
not agreeing with what you do, family or friends.
Hmm.
I wish I could give everybody a shred of hope and a shred of not giving a fuck of what people think because it really does hinder people.
Hmm.
What
Yeah,
advice would you
yeah.
have for people?
Being able to clearly and consistently just put one foot in front of the other and take one step closer to your goals every single day is really, really important because it's going to help overcome that self-doubt, that self-criticism, that uncertainty and confidence, because that's usually what it is. If a person is confident and consistently moving towards their goals, yes, friends and family will be critical and they will judge it. But after a while, it will become so self-apparent that they'll change their perspective on it, but it's only when I stay confident in myself. And the best way for me to stay confident is to just keep taking one step at a time closer to my goals. And the best way to do that is learning how to make it consistent. And the best way for me to make it consistent is to make it easy and enjoyable.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. Thank you for sharing. Let's talk about self-sabotage, which I talked
Mm-mm.
about not too long ago on my
Mm-mm.
podcast. Um, I feel even then I feel like I still didn't touch anything, even though I was talking about it, because it's like trauma and grief. There's
Hmm.
no measure to it, and
Mm.
there's so many different branches to how we self-sabotage. What
Mm.
are your thoughts
That,
on it?
that's a really good point that you brought up. I think one of the biggest self-sabotages, at least for myself, was misinterpreting how I was feeling. I would feel a certain way, and I would say, okay, I'm feeling this way, therefore I must do this. And when I had all the wires crossed and misinterpreted, I would focus on the wrong things. I would react improperly, and that led to a lot of terrible health issues for myself. It affected my relationships with my wife and my friends and family. And when I turned that around to understand properly about what is this feeling, this emotion, this fear, what is it trying to tell me? Before I thought it was trying to tell me to keep going as fast as I could and push, push, push through. I had to reinterpret that. I said, you know what? This is telling me that maybe I need to take a step back. Maybe I need to rest. Maybe I need to pause. Maybe I need to prioritize taking care of myself. And when I changed that perspective and I rested more and took care of myself purposefully and consistently, I was able to think clearer. When I able think clearer, I felt better. When I felt better, I was able to be more productive and be happier and more consistent and more kind and more gentle, not only to myself, but to others around me.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I love that you mentioned resting
Hmm.
because most people don't know how to do that, honestly.
Hmm.
Right? I'm
Hmm.
from a different country and culture.
Hmm.
Here, I'm like, oh my gosh, I get it. People want to be successful and blah blah
Hmm.
blah. Everything is expensive. But
Hmm.
if someone tear themselves down to the ground,
Hmm.
what
Hmm.
amount of success are you gonna have and what
That's right.
impact are you gonna make?
That's
Right?
right.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. And resting doesn't just mean like getting good night's sleep, which is important, but knowing how to take care of yourself throughout the day. There's a lot of people that might sleep well, but the second they're up, they're just so grind, so high stress, so high anxiety that they don't realize how unproductive that really is and how damaging that really is in the long term and how unsustainable that is. And it'll get to the point where if you don't know how to take care of yourself and rest, you might be forced to do that when, something comes across your path like a sickness or an illness.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, does taxes increased is impacting your business? I don't know the best way to put it.
As a tax increase, yeah, that's always, it's always gonna have an impact. Um, the best, well, the best thing to do is to, have a good accountant, I
Yeah.
guess. And just, it can be easy to focus on the negative.
Mm,
um, in any way in business with lack of profits or revenues or things like that. But I think it's very important for me to focus on, okay, taxes are increased. Okay, well, what does that mean for me? What does that mean in terms of how much more value do I have to provide to offset the taxes? And keeping a positive perspective and focus instead of being, you know, scarcity or negatively focused on what's being taken from me. Okay, how can I overcome that by just giving more? Because the more I give, the more I get in return.
yeah, yeah. It's like a chain reaction
Hmm.
because I think it was last year, the year before. In Calgary here, taxes went up on properties everywhere.
Hmm.
And then
Hmm.
my rent went up. I'm like, what the fuck, guys? Who is responsible for this? And everybody is struggling. You go to the
Yeah.
grocery store, it's so expensive.
Hmm.
Tell people
Hmm.
I'm gonna go on a greenery diet because you guys have lots of trees here, lots of grass. It's so expensive. I'm gonna
Yeah.
tie this to stress and business,
Mm.
if that
Okay.
makes sense.
Hmm.
Which also ties to what we've been talking about, procrastination and self-sabotage.
Hmm. Hmm.
How can we manage stress as
Mm.
entrepreneurs?
Oh, it's such a great question. So, depends what stage of stress you're at. If someone is at the place of, close to burnout where their mind is running a million miles an hour every single day and they're starting to notice physical symptoms like constant headaches or a racing heart or upset or like bad gut, things like that, it's really important to understand that a lot of the stress management techniques, they're very good when you do them proactively to prevent more stress. But when someone's at the point of almost burnout, all those stress management techniques actually can add more stress to it because you're trying to do more things. And my suggestion for someone who's like, if you're close to being burnt out, the best thing to do is, again, interpret the signals as not go, but I might need to stop. Maybe it's just setting a timer for 5 minutes to just lay down and close my eyes, but changing how I react to how I feel until I'm getting into a more peaceful, calm state. And at that point, then I can put in place those proactive stress management things like breath work or meditation or visualization or yoga and stretching and exercise. Like there's plenty of productive things we can do daily to manage our stress levels, but those are only going to be as effective if I'm not at the burnout stage. So
Yeah.
I like to say, it's the difference between if you broke your leg, it wouldn't be smart to, going for walks every day on it. That you just need to rest and let it heal.
Yeah.
But now that it has healed, what are some things we can do to strengthen it? And that'd be just knowing your own pace and your own speed to actually take care of yourself.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for sharing.
Of
Thank you.
course.
Yeah. So what are some of the businesses that you have? Can you expand more? Because I really don't speak business and budget. I can't do it.
My last business was a supplement business,
Oh,
and I scaled it to $12 million in sales. The businesses before that, I had a marketing business, a design business, email. Like I've done a number of different businesses over the years.
mhm.
But what was your other question about
Oh, I don't remember that.
it?
Um, Oh yeah, I just asked what was your the businesses because
Mhm,
not
mhm,
everyone understand the language of business. I don't.
mhm,
I paint and
mhm.
I can look like this. The minute people put numbers and letters together, I'm out. I'm out. Yeah, that's really cool. So who are your customers, I guess? Are they
Uh,
families, kids, and I don't know.
My ideal client is an entrepreneur who is either struggling with perfectionism or overwhelm, has a project that they know they need to get started on, but they are either afraid of failing or they're kind of over analyzing it and they're kind of stuck and not knowing where to start. And I help them, break down the next step that they need to take to make it as easy and enjoyable to get started every single day. And by helping them do that, I help them build momentum, get more things done, and really grow not only their business but their life because they'll have more time and energy by focusing on the right things.
I love that. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, of course.
So what do you want people to get out of today's episode and also your journey?
Uh, Everyone who's listening who is either an aspiring entrepreneur or a solopreneur entrepreneur, what I want to give to every single person here is again wrapped up in my procrastination to profit planner. They can get my website at effortlessgrowth.co. But basically, the principle that being consistent is really, really important when in life and in business. It doesn't matter if it's in relationships or in hobbies or work or business, but the ability to know how to stay consistent is going to be your competitive edge. And being able to make the thing that you need to be consistent at, making sure it's easy and enjoyable to do every single day is going to be very important. Otherwise, we're just going to be relying on willpower and self-discipline, and it's going to eventually lead to burnout.
Yeah, I agree. Have you been thinking about writing a book or books and maybe podcasts and teach people?
That's a great idea. Every single day, I do a live Q&A.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it actually starts in 10 minutes, so I
Oh, okay. Well,
gotta.
that's a wrap, people. That's a wrap. That's awesome
But
that you do that.
yeah. But I'm hoping to turn all of my content into, a book. I've written another book earlier in my life when I was struggling with generalized anxiety disorder, but I'd love to write another book
Mm.
specifically for entrepreneurs and things like that with procrastination. So yeah, there's definitely more things coming down the pipes for sure.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I just think that would be very helpful. Just for people to hear from you and your experience. Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. So
Yeah.
as we wrap up, two questions. I think you've answered one before. The first one is, what is the meaning of life for you?
Oh, wow. That's such a good question. Well, what an easy question. Oh man. Um, I don't know if I can answer that fully, but there's an aspect, a principle of myself is leaving others better than you found them. Um, that's a big thing. I think that my purpose here, the purpose of life is to love, um,
Yeah.
and loving someone means, leaving someone better than you found them. That's for me at least.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you. Um, where can people find you and connect with you?
Perfect. My website, effortlessgrowth.co, is the best way. You can go there and put in your email address to get a free copy of that Procrastination to Profit Planner. And then after you do that, you'll get invited to my private Facebook group where I go live every single day answering everyone's questions.
Awesome. Well, Jesse, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Bernadette. Appreciate
You're
that.
welcome.